Kansas City are about to have a great day. We're in the first short circuit, day 9 of the second season. We start with an Alan Rossi groundout, follow with a Curtis Zebulon walk, a triple from Magma Provolone brings Zeb home, then a Yasuki pinball double brings the hot cheese home too. 2-0 up on Miami Dale before the bottom of the first. Pitching for the Mints, Giannis Harper held Miami to 0 with 3 groundouts and only conceding a walk. Giannis Harper's introduction to the ILB was similarly smooth. Initially placed in the lineup, their middling poor .192 batting average was mitigated by their ability to draw walks. A .298 on-base percentage may not be elite, but it's far from embarrassing. There is a downside to relying on walks. It's hard for a runner on base to get home when you're walking. It's tricky to score with a walk. On day 65, the Mints experienced a reverb, pushing Giannis onto the mound. This does not go well. Any excitement fans may have had to see the terrible pitcher and ace batter in waiting Magma Provolone join the lineup doesn't last. Harper loses every one of their 7 games as pitcher, and ended the season with the worst earned run average in the league. That is to say, each game they played, they conceded more runs than literally anyone else. Now, we don't have a complete 20-game sample like their peers. Giannis still makes a case for being Season 1's worst pitcher. Put it this way, in that brief span, Harper allowed more runs than a third of the league did over their whole season. You see that little cross up there? That's the 20-game projected run total. Harper had a terrible season. Their first game in Season 2 was typical for the team. The offense never quite line up, and Giannis repeatedly loads the bases to put the game completely out of reach. Day 9 is our egregious outlier, Harper's only shutout, and, spoilers, not a single Miami player is going to make good contact with the ball. In this iteration of the league, it's the only no-hitter. Well, sort of. 4 days prior, Malin Jolly pitched a perfect game out of nowhere. 27 outs, up and down. It's technically more impressive than a no-hitter in that the pitcher can't even concede a single walk. It's less impressive than Giannis' no-hitter in that Jolly is a pretty decent pitcher, and Harper makes me angry. This is why. Some days, Kansas City forgets how to bat. Day 14, though, was a game the Mints could easily have won with a better pitcher on the mound. 4 runs isn't much, but it's defensible when the pitcher isn't literally handing the opposition even more. That said, I'll give Harper a pass for day 19. The second inning passes uneventfully for both teams with 6 quick outs, as did the third. Day 24 was another close loss, and 29 introduces a whole new subgenre of disappointment. Last out losses. Harper managed to hold Yellowstone Magic to a single run for 26 outs. Bottom of the 9th, eyeing up extra innings. Instead, the runner on third makes it home on a single, and that's the ball game. Is it fair to blame the pitcher when they clearly lacked run support? Absolutely not. Will that stop me? No. 2 singles and a sac fly secure Kansas City's third run. In return, Harper's focus is wavering. A walk is issued to Crank Heist, who appropriately goes on to steal the next 2 bases. 3 quick outs, though, strand Heist on third. And it's at this point fans watching the game notice that no one has hit a breath mince pitch. Not that there's any belief here, this is still a Giannis Harper game. Day 34 is the kind of game Giannis can win. They keep it close and the offense shows up. Day 39 repeats that story, and 44 inverts it. The 5th innings is quiet. Both teams draw a walk, but neither can turn that base into a run. Now, remember how I said it's tricky to score on a walk? Dali pitcher Cheese Kerning gives us a demonstration of how you do it here despite that. It starts as a bad day in the office. You need to load the bases, here with 2 singles and a walk. Once all those bases are occupied, the runner on third is obligated to move along home in order to make room on first for the batter being walked. It's easily one of the most shameful outcomes a pitcher can endure. Not only have you allowed 3 runners into play, but now you're not even contesting the next batter. You concede a run, and you're right back where you started. The bases are still loaded. Kerning walks a total of 3 runs before regaining control and ending the innings. Now, this first short circuit was an absolute haven for runs walked in. Over the 1,188 games of ILB play, we saw 493 bases loaded walks drawn, nearly 1 in every other game. To put that into perspective, in 2021, Major League Baseball had an uptick in runs walked in and broke several records, and they still only saw 365. and that's over double the games played. If the ILB had the MLB schedule, they'd be on pace to record more than 1,000 walks of shame. As a batter, our hero Giannis Harper scored one of these too. On the mound, 19 bases-loaded walks issued in 20 games. Sure, that's 10 behind the new MLB team record for most walked runs in a season. That's the Cardinals over 162 games, rather than the 20 of an ILB pitcher, but Giannis remains one of the season's worst offenders. And day 49 was their worst offence. 3 runs walked in and the game handed to the opposition. 54 only has a single mark of shame. That's the good news. Still, hard to imagine that a competent pitcher couldn't have won. By 59 and 64, we're no longer surprised. Harper is committed to giving up runs and games. At the bottom of the 6th, Giannis continues to surprise us. 3 quick outs. Dali replying kind, and Harper is back on the mound. Kansas City fans are watching in disbelief now. 18 outs, no hits. 9 to go. The pressure is mounting. A walk, the runner advancing into scoring position on the sacrifice. But again, Giannis finds a measure of control and ends the innings. Day 69 is finally a game even Giannis would struggle to lose. With a mighty 7 runs to work with, Harper still sours the mood with a bases-loaded walk. 74 is a conventional loss in 9 innings, but 79 is a heartbreaker. Harper holds the Crabs to parity over 12 innings. In the 13th, the Mints get their noses in front with a run, only for Harper to gift that back with a bases-loaded walk and set up the hit that takes the game away. Day 84 then is something of a palate cleanser, a regulation run-heavy Giannis game. No one even bats an eye when they go on to capitulate day 89 too. Kansas City find 3 outs in the 8th without joy, though the game is now firmly theirs to lose. Harper repeats the 7th, 3 outs interrupted only briefly by a walk. Day 94 is a shock. At this point it looks like the Breath Mints are within a game of reaching the playoffs. It's going to be tight and every game matters. Having held a slender lead into the final innings, Harper loads the bases on the final out. We've seen this before. It's happening again. Until it isn't. Giannis finds the final out and keeps the team in contention. No one really cares about the Breath Mints batters at this point. They make some bases before Dale are back on the plate. All eyes are on Giannis Harper, 3 outs from history. The last day of Season 2, Day 99, is a bad joke. Thanks to tiebreakers, Kansas City need to win the game to guarantee a place in the postseason. Ignore every missed opportunity. They still control their own destiny. All that stands in their way is the final pitcher in their rotation. Giannis Harper is the gatekeeper. The only silver lining is that it doesn't go into a tense final innings. Giannis just lets in runs. It's the tense final innings. Crank Heist walks up and immediately hits a ground out. 2 to go. Orville Manning takes the plate. Ball, 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 ground out. One last chance for Harper to choke. Brielle Rowdy batting for the Dale. Ball, ball, ground out to Silvio Teacup. The Breath Mints collect a win. Against all the odds, it happens. The worst pitcher you know just threw a no-hitter.